Good afternoon, fuck knuckles, and welcome to episode 5 of The Right Direction. In this episode, Chan and I go over some thoughts about China and World War III before we go into a conversation that Chan, Brooks, and I had about the principal in Florida that spanked the 6-year-old, and then we'll end it with just a bit of a laugh at the Iranian government and them painting some flags on the ground. So, without further ado, let's get into the episode. But Project Fortunate Son was a disinformation campaign that the American government did during Nam, where they purposefully placed tampered with bullets. Like they managed to sneak some into the bullet or the ammunition stocks of the Viet Cong, and so they were designed to explode, and then but they only put a few in. But then they started to release information that was clearly it was disinformation, but they were releasing it like it was proper information, so that
Yeah.
the Vietnamese, if they encountered it, like intercepted the radio waves, they'd hear it, and they were doing these encounters of witnessing Viet Cong like AKs exploding and shit like that due to ammunition, due to faulty Chinese ammunition, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they did a few things just really trying to drive in that disinformation to them, and yeah, apparently it worked a fair bit. Like made
Yeah,
the
nice.
made the Vietnamese actually a bit fearful, like of shooting their guns in the same way of like all the American soldiers walking around fearful for stepping on anything because could be a
Oh,
punji
yeah,
trap or fucking
traps
anything.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking
Fucking remind me of Russia doing the old World War II fucking inflatable tanks and shit.
yeah, man, fucking, I love it. I love the whole inflatable tank thing because it's like up close, they look like inflatable tanks, but from those fucking aerial shots, my god, do
Yep.
those things like at first, second, even third glance, they just look like tanks. It would actually
Yep.
take you a fair bit of studying to go, hang on, those edges are a bit more rounded than they should be.
And even then, they just need to do tighter seams and better quality inflatables. Like,
Yeah, nah, for sure. It's gonna be
I,
interesting to see some of the technology and fucking sort of saboteur type shit that we'll see come out of
mm,
these armies in this next war that's destined to happen shortly within the next 20 years.
as long as we're not fucking on that front line, yeah.
Next minute hard cut on the front line. God fucking damn it.
I'm just looking up at this mech, like, just like, we knew it'd be wicked.
Oh shit. Fucking Caden piloting one of the mechs.
Yeah,
God
and he's
fucking
just
damn
like, "Fuck yeah!" You're a madman. We just got the classic rifle ammunition combo.
Clearly, las guns. Come on.
Oh yeah, las gun fucking cell round combo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking interesting. I think everyone's definitely horny for a war, so I think
They're getting that way.
all it's gonna do is take fucking either China or Russia to kick something off, and then I think it's gonna begin.
Yeah, well, that's what our boy was saying because old mate kept asking like, "Oh, what do you think would kick such and such off coming to help or kick a war off?" Like he was asking, like if he's like, "How do you think what would kick off Taiwan?" And the guy's just straight away is like, "Well, that question's more you're just asking how resilient are the Taiwanese because the guy straight up he's like, what if China done like a full cyber attack, took out their power and fucking this and that, and then old mate's like, well, that just depends on the Taiwanese resilience if they want to sit through that or if they want to say no, fuck it. And then the old mate's like, well then. If engaged in conflict with Taiwan, what would it take for the US
To
or
back Taiwan up and to start shipping boys over.
or for Australia? And he's just like any offensive attack.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think it'll take
ground-based
too long
attack.
before we would get involved, and then we'll see how old fucking Joe Biden goes. But hopefully, they would be pretty quick to act
Yeah.
as well as the UK and Canada.
I
We'll see
think you.
about New Zealand.
Yeah. I think US would have some sort of protocol that's just like Joe Biden override because he's just so
Yeah,
incompetent.
no doubt their defense ministers would just be like, yeah, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we're taking control now. Like,
Hopefully, but we'll see. And but it would show that Joe would be showing his hand if he did go, no, we're not sending troops. Like,
mm,
yeah, I think that would definitely show whose side that he's on.
yeah, fine. So we got Black Lives that matter.
Yeah, what war? You were talking about the war between blacks and whites.
Well, Vietnam. I remember Vietnam.
Talking about that Korean war.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the Koreans.
Oh man, yeah,
He's cool.
it's gonna be fucking interesting.
Hmm,
Could be
say
time.
the least.
Could be time to say goodbye to China with how fucked up they're sort of getting.
Hopefully, they just have some sort of internal crumble,
That would be good,
like
but
because of how their citizens is. Because yeah, as the minister dude was saying, he's like, well, there's more than just one way of conflict and
yeah,
war. He's
yeah,
like, America and Australia are already technically engaged in trade war, like trade conflict,
for sure, for sure.
and
Everything that's
he's
been
like,
going on there,
yeah,
100%.
which then essentially taps into economic blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like, I do believe that actual physical conflict is on everyone's last thing. But then it's like China's Minister of Defense thing, he's got an actual force
yeah,
designed to take Taiwan.
yeah. So
And
that's
it's like,
yeah. No, I don't think they're that interested in doing it peacefully. I think when they're ready to make the move, they'll go. All right, one last chance. Do you want to join back in? Sort of like the deal that we've got with Hong Kong, and then yeah, if they
Taiwan's
say
going to be like,
nah, yeah, and then that's gonna be the end. I think China will be like, right, we're coming in and taking you by force then. And
and
yeah,
we're
I think
going to be
that's
like,
good. What'll be yeah, that's what'll kick it off. Then we'll jump in. Then America will jump in. Then Russia will probably end
Japan.
up jumping in, like on China's side. North Korea will probably jump in on China's side. And yeah, I think at that point we'll have ourselves a World War III, and it'd probably be time to fucking maybe do some separating of some Russia and some China if we come out the victors.
Yeah. Like, given how many are on the Allies, it's like rightfully we should, unless Russia seriously has no qualms with being like radioactive
Well,
tsunami torpedo.
we would absolutely have to hope that like countries like France and Italy and all that would immediately jump in on the good side and begin to
Yeah.
attack Russia from that fucking western front, while fucking we would most likely be going in and fucking either invading China or heading towards Taiwan, as that would be, I imagine, a bit of a
Mm-mm.
conflict zone too. So it would be. I wonder if the Americans would end up going to deal with Russia, or whether they would like how much they would send to deal with China and what the go is. It's like,
Because Canada's straight up going to be like, here, Alaska, take take most of my shit. Like,
yeah,
because Alaska's definitely key point for Russia. And yeah, American Boy definitely said as well, it's like any attack on Japan will also cause them to defend, like send
yeah,
troops and shit.
yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, well, what are the Brits fucking doing?
Yeah, I imagine they would jump in pretty goddamn quickly. Like the Brits, the Irish, the Scots. So we only have 57,000 active and 21,000 reserve. Okay.
That sucks. Oh, that sucks.
The United Kingdom has just over 250,000 in total. That's 150,000 active and 80,000 reserve.
They,
United States, 1.3 million active, 800,000 reserves. Yeah, Canada's a bit over us. They got 60,000 active, 35,000 fucking reserve. China has 2 million active, 500,000 reserves.
Oh,
And then,
that's a lot of infantry.
yeah, and then also 66,000 paramilitary, which I do believe are just like, are they just like trained civilian type things?
I believe so. Because military is compulsory. Oh no, it's not. It used to be though.
Now let's have a look at Russia, as they would be one of the other superpowers. 1 million active, 2 million reserve,
That's an
five
interesting
hundred
reserve.
thousand paramilitary. So if reason that's so many reserves.
Mm, yeah. I wonder how many are on heroin though.
North Korea, 1.2 million active, 600,000 reserves, 5.8 million paramilitary. I'm gonna assume that's their in total. That's like nearly their total fucking populace. That's
Yeah,
7.7 million military type personnel.
because they definitely have the. You have to do military. That's so
Uh,
many.
North Korea's population is roughly 25 million, but that's still so many fucking
Yeah, such a large
paramilitary
chunk.
people. Because if you take away, say, all the out, if you can manage to get old in North Korea, I'm not sure if you can or not, but you take out the children and the elderly,
Mm.
that's, and then most likely the women as well. I would assume potentially if they got any fucking heart within them, they would just not force the women to do it.
Mm.
So it's yeah, we definitely would need the help. I think from some of these smaller countries. So Japan active military quarter of a million. That's not too bad on top.
Yeah.
France 200,000.
Here's the thing. Isn't Germany like forced to be on the Allies' side?
I don't know, but it would be fucking funny if they are. Like, imagine actually fighting alongside the German army for once.
Yeah.
German army has 179,000 active, relatively small-ish force. I don't understand why we don't have more. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, man. I thought we would
Why do
have
we only
heaps
have a
more.
fucking military combined of 78,000? That is garbage.
Yeah. That and it seriously makes so much more sense now why we get so much ADF job fucking
Yeah.
ads and shit thrown out. Like,
Like our per thousand capita is 3.3. So for every 1,000 people, 3 of them are in the military in some way.
3,000.
Where if we have a look at America's per capita,
That's crazy.
US is actually isn't too much bigger in technicality. There's
Yeah, because I was gonna say their population's crazy big though.
4.2.
And then, like, it's really going to come down to who's got the better tech then, because they got the better numbers, like troops wise,
Have a look at
and
countries.
who's got more resources.
Even France has a bigger military than we do. So, school principal cleared of wrongdoing after video of her spanking child goes viral. Pupil was spanked 3 times with a wooden paddle. That's a paddling.
That's bad.
That's paddling.
An elementary school principal in Florida has been cleared of wrongdoing after a viral video showed her spanking a 6-year-old pupil with a paddle for damaging a computer. On Friday, State Attorney Amira Fox's office said that Melissa Carter, the principal of Central Elementary School in Clawson, will not face charges over the incident. All right, so we'll let Brooksimo watch this video.
Admittedly, I mean, I'm a firm proponent of if you break the rules, even if the rules are a bit shit, you have to sort of deal with the consequences, and that goes for everybody, even if it is like something that seems good in a sense. If it's still it's something like breaking a contract or something like that. I'm a firm proponent of. if you are legally binded or your job is on the line for certain conducts and you go against that, then you've signed yourself away. I'm sorry, but that's how the world works. That's why when people protested at their jobs or something like that, or like refused to do certain things at their job, and they're like, I don't want to do that, and it's like, well, sorry, you signed a contract. Like that's on you.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll sort of fucking break it down from the start a little bit more. So, first off, do you think she deserved to be, if it was legal there, do you think she deserved to be punished with a paddling like that for damaging a computer? Obviously, that they don't get into how she damaged it or what happened with it or how damaged, but do you think a hit on the ass is justified response to breaking a computer or potentially damaging a computer?
I not really, because I've seen atrocities get committed to computers, and things didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I don't think, like, at least until we find out what the actual extent of the damage was and what she actually did. From if she just damaged a computer, I definitely don't think it's justified. If she was told not to and then she continued to damage it, then I think definitely justified. If she was told don't do that and then she continued to do it, then potentially, because from definitely what I view in the video, it's not that hard of a hit. The
And
first one's definitely got a little bit of
Yeah,
oomph to
yeah,
it.
I was gonna say that first one definitely packs
Yeah,
more of a punch
first one's
than
got
the
a little
rest.
bit of hit to it, but then the next two are barely anything. But I think one of my main problems with this is, why didn't the mother step in? I get she says she was in fear, she was in shock, it happened so quickly. I
She's
was scared
undocumented.
because I'm not an official civilian or a citizen of America or whatever because she's illegal. I still think that's absolute bullshit. She's got time to pull her fucking phone out and record it, but you don't have time to fucking step in and stop your child from being hit?
She did say that she wanted to have a recording of it so that other parents knew what was going down at the school.
That's
Which
fantastic.
could
So
be an
use
excuse.
your child as a martyr is
She
basically.
did say that. She said, "I sacrificed my child,"
That is
which
absolutely
is wild.
Yeah,
kind of
you
thing
want to sit there
say.
and watch your child get fucking spanked as a martyr so you can prove that it's happening in other places. Why not start filming and immediately begin to confront them about what they're about to do?
Yeah,
As soon as that paddle comes out and you've got your phone in your hand, fucking. She didn't take any steps to try intervene at all. She sat there and just recorded it.
I was gonna say, and given the first paddle was a bit harder, that should have been it. The next two, in my opinion, weren't required because the first one
100%.
had a bit
I
more
reckon
force.
the next two were a don't move type. She that's why they weren't as hard, and she did it twice. It was take the first one, and then she probably would have spanked her again, but I don't think she would have gotten 3 if she hadn't have moved. I think it was. It seemed like more of that don't you move type motherly attitude almost towards it.
And again, I think the paddle is a bit excessive. I think a hand would have sufficed.
Yeah, definitely
but
the paddle's a weird fucking thing to pull out. A ruler or something like that, maybe. Fucking, it's weird that they have a paddle there
yes,
if it isn't legal in that county in Florida. And it's very weird that it is legal in every other county in Florida, just not that one. So I'd like to know maybe that teacher had worked somewhere else, maybe was under the impression that it was still legal, like it was legal in that
what
county in
gets
Florida,
me,
maybe.
yeah, what gets me out of the video though is after the paddling, she turns and as she's speaking to the child, but she kind of looks at the mother and she says, "We can get your mum down here to do it next time if you want."
Yeah.
So to me, they've come to some sort of thing. I don't know how to discipline her, and they're like, "Oh, we'll show you how to
I
discipline
would
her."
like to see the full uncut video that mum released rather than just that fucking
Snippet, yes.
snippet of it, because no doubt there'd be other things said in between. But I don't know. I get it. You probably shouldn't lay your hand on somebody else's child unless they've agreed to it. But at the same time, again, Florida mainly has it legal that corporal punishment is still a thing, apparently. I had no idea about that.
Same time, if that kid is doing enough fucking
And yeah, it's going to come
mayhem
down
that
to
you need to
exactly, because
intervene. Like,
she was damaging a computer. So was she willfully damaging a computer, or did she accidentally damage a computer? That's sort of where it's going to
yeah,
stem
it was a
if
continuous. Yeah,
she deserved a bit of a spank on the ass or not. And again, yeah,
Kids
it's
are kids are curious, and like she may have been, I don't know, poking the insides of a laptop with a pencil or something like something stupid that a kid
yeah. Was she 5 or 6?
6.
Like
six,
6. Yeah,
which is why I'm kind of like spanking a child. Like, if she was like in the class throwing the laptop around like it was a fucking paperweight or something like that, it's understandable. But in my head, at least, I can imagine a 6-year-old just making a mistake with a laptop and accidentally breaking it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that's just me.
yeah, I know that's the hard part.
yeah.
It's like
No,
which way
definitely.
did this go
Yeah.
originally, and that's where it's gonna, in my mind at least, that's where it's gonna start with the justification of how the original part went down. How was she destroying the lap or the computer or whatever? Was it an accident? Was she purposefully, punching a screen or something like that? And still doing it after the teacher asked. I guess we probably won't know. But either way,
Yeah.
I'm definitely on the side of the fence. If that was my kid and my kid was doing something shit and was told not to, and then they kept doing it, I would be more than happy for that woman to spank my kid,
Again, if it's legal in your county.
even if it wasn't legal in my county, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But I'm just like, yeah,
I was
gotta check
raised on
You
spanking.
gotta check the legalities, people.
I
check
would,
your
except for the paddling.
documents.
Yeah, paddling's probably a bit excessive, but if
Yeah,
the kid's doing
paddling's a
like
bit
a classic,
weird.
you're doing something wrong right now, grab them by the arm and give them a good wallop up the ass with the hand.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm good with
Catch
that.
him. Yeah, don't. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Good with
I
that.
just,
Don't drag him into a fucking room and fucking get somebody else to hold them,
Yeah.
and
yeah, like,
your mum's sitting there as well, and then bring out the paddle, and like that's all just extra shit mentally on that kid. Like I'm not a fucking spanking is abuse person. No, I definitely spank your kid if they fuck up.
Yeah, definitely.
But the extreme in the situation, like it should have been, as you said, spank him on the spot. Be like, oh, you fucking stop that shit.
Yeah.
and that's how kids learn too. It's immediate. Like, you need to
Yeah,
be.
it's got to be immediate. That's how you fucking. You're in the street and some cunt slipping off or fucking whatnot. Like,
It's like
you're gonna know when to choose to fucking be aggressive and when not to be aggressive.
it's like
Exactly.
people like fail to remember how we sort of have to communicate with kids as well. They're not as intellectually fucking as smart as us. They don't
Yeah,
understand exactly, especially at that age. At 6, she's maybe not gonna fully understand exactly
and
what she's
yeah,
doing,
and
and
but
they everyone responds to a little bit of violence. It sucks to say, but that's how we are. That's how the animal world is. If a father dog is eating his food and the puppers come up and try to steal some, what's he gonna do? He'll
yeah,
growl at them, and when they don't understand, he'll probably end up giving them a little bit of a nip. He's not gonna give them a full on fucking bite. He's gonna give them a bit of a nip.
and the best way I've heard it described as well is that our brains are meaning making machines. We make meaning to everything.
Yeah,
And kids, they are that times 10.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
because they're just trying to learn absolutely everything. So
Everything about the world.
they,
Yeah,
their brain sits there trying to create meaning to this. And because they're kids, it doesn't draw a logical connection. It will draw an illogical connection because
yeah.
kids
But
and a developing brain.
yeah, I think at the end of the day, my biggest hate about this thing is just the fucking CBS people commenting on it. Like, the child was left hyperventilating. It's like, of course she was fucking crying like that. She's a child. They all cry like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I was
yeah,
gonna say,
absolutely. Every
that's
every
just,
little 6-year-old over
The
anything.
mother traumatized, couldn't move, and it's like she didn't move because she wanted to get as still as a shot as possible on that phone when she was thinking about all the fucking likes she was gonna get, or all the pats on the back on fucking social media.
I reacted that way as a kid from
Huge
both
flash.
either like, I don't know, falling on my knee and skinning it, and also potentially running headfirst into a wall and knocking myself out. Like,
That's it.
I had the same reaction of both. Like, I hyperventilated
Yeah,
like that,
man.
Mhm.
Same.
but I also then sort of passed out because I had a weird condition. Anyway,
But anyway, I suppose unless anyone's got anything else to say about the whole subject,
just check the legalities of whether you can do certain things, people, especially if you're in a job like a principal. Like, I'm kind of. How does a principal? I am kind of interested how a principal could be in a school in a state, famously, well, not famously, but still probably, pretty well aware of um, the presence of corporal punishment, but still wasn't aware that there's this one particular state that she works in that she wasn't aware of.
That
I'm
one
kind of
county,
like,
because again, she was prepared. They had that baton,
yeah.
like she had used it in her
yeah,
time.
did she bring that from the old school she was transferred from? Like,
100%,
is that
she did.
is that like old
Or
faithful?
Or was it originally legal in that county, and then that county decided to make it illegal there, and then they've just not really, or then it's been left there that whole time. She's come in as the principal, and then being like, "Yeah, this thing's here. Let's fucking give her a whooping."
She should know. Like, she's a principal. Like, maybe it's just from my perception as a child, like thinking of the principal as like Almighty God, sort of. But like, I do think, like, being a principal, I'm kind of like, you should be pretty on the ball about that.
You should be aware.
But do you think she should be done?
Not necessarily. No, I personally have. I kind of find it hard because there's not a full picture of the story. It's kind of hard to formulate a full verdict. But I do think, like, again, I believe people should be pretty well aware of what they can and can't do legally. Like, it's this thing. It's the thing people like go, it was just an innocent little pinch on the ass to a coworker. But if you signed a form or a document that says you are not allowed to do that, I'm sorry, you're losing your job. That's just how the world works.
You just should never pinch anyone on the ass unless they want it.
Yeah, that too.
Or they're a bro, then it's fine, even if they're
yeah, okay, that's bro.
Do you think she should have got done, or do you think
I think she should go.
Probably never gonna do this again. You think she's?
I think she should have got what she got, and that was fucking paid leave.
Yeah.
Time off work while they fucking saw that shit out. Like, as I said, like, I'm all for spanking, but she was a little excessive with everything in the whole situation.
Yeah, like, definitely she sort of used her power. She used a bit of a power play.
Yeah, 100%. And like the whole mental play, getting her in the room with the mum and the vice principal holding her hands while she paddled her.
Definitely could have been handled far easier, even with a spanking still.
Yes, that's it.
Like how anyone would do it at home. You immediately walk over there, fucking give them a spank up the ass, and then fucking send them to the room or corner or wherever so they understand that they've done something wrong. You don't have to necessarily make a big deal out of it and fucking drag everyone down there. But again,
and later on, move on.
Yeah. So
it probably would not have been discussed if it was just a simple like that. But no one would have fucking said anything. Probably.
Do you think she should get her fucking ability to teach stripped away from her? No. I think she's probably learned her lesson from this and probably now realizes that it wasn't the smartest thing to do.
She'll never do it again.
Yeah,
and
she'll worry next time to definitely check whether she can, because I think this I've got a sneaking suspicion she may have been under the pretenses that she could do it in that county with the amount of other counties in Florida that have got it legal to do it. I just got a sneaking suspicion maybe she just thought she could.
And it's like, even then, like...
But as you say, make sure you fucking clarify that shit.
You gotta know.
You should know.
Search, man. Imagine, like, if she, just before she'd done it, if she'd be like, got the mother down, got everyone down, and then she just pulls out her phone, she's like, Hey
Alexa, is corporal punishment legal in
Haddon County?
There you go, kid. You're lucky today.
Just before she spanks, but yeah.
Just walks in, just like, I can't spank you, just punches the kid in the head and say anything about fucking knocking you the fuck out.
But yeah, what about the mother? Do you think she should have reacted differently to the way she did?
I'm not going to say anything on how one should react to their child being punished.
Fair enough.
Because everybody on this fucking different with how their child punished. Like, kids that are spanked, like fucking you and me, turn out fucking fine and dandy. Kids that fucking aren't spanked turn out fine and dandy.
That's it. Like,
and then on the other hand, you get the fucking kids that are fucked on both pages as well.
Yeah.
Like,
but from the point of view,
factors.
if you didn't want your kid to be spanked,
After the first spank, I would have raised my voice.
Well, she
Yeah,
claims that she didn't want the kid to be spanked at all, and then that she'd never spanked her and all that stuff. So from that point of view,
what she says that she says I've never spanked it as hard as what.
as hard.
Yeah, she goes, I'd never hit her, and then previously before that, yeah, she goes, no, it's not.
Yeah, she changes. She
not
says
that
both. She
hard.
says both.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think, at least from my point of view, if I was in this mother's shoes and I didn't want her to be spanked by them at all, I definitely would have stood in and
If you
been
didn't
like,
want it,
lay a
like,
hand on me kid and I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, it's a. I just think the mother could have done a little bit more than the typical response that a lot of people tend to have these days, which is pull your phone out and start recording.
But at the same time, she already did have it out before the spank. Like, there was conversation prior. Like, she was aware the spank was coming.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what I think makes me more aggravated. She should have stood in if she didn't want it. If she had that much time to pull her phone out, pull the camera, like get the camera going, get it to a nice little posy where it's stable and she can start recording.
But at the same
secretly.
time, then if she stood in, there goes her evidence. She doesn't have her evidence of the kid getting spanked.
Yeah, but the
She
evidence
needed
would
to
be
not
as soon as they
step
walk
in
back
for
in
evidence.
that room with the paddle in hand.
Yes and no, because she could put it down at any point in time.
Yeah, she could. The threat would still be there, though, and the intent.
And she could just have used her hand, and then both of the parent and the child have agreed that it was a paddle in the story. Because they've seen the paddle. She had the paddle. Yep, great story.
I just think their want for attention over trumped the want to protect your kid, and I think that's weird.
But at the same time,
just to get evidence, because maybe the school's been spanking kids previously, but
I think that applies to a lot of those people that film instead of doing something. Getting the evidence a lot of the time, it is kind of on that fence. Like, it is a form of doing something by getting that evidence.
Yeah,
rather than actually directly intervening.
I just think I'd rather directly intervene and get my kid out of that school rather than sitting there watching them get spanked so I can have some evidence to go after the people.
It's the whole with George Floyd, man. His death was filmed. You and I both personally were like, no, we would act instead of filming.
That's it.
But they think, no, I'll film for the evidence.
Yeah, which is just, to me, downright disgusting, because all you're doing is, sure, you're getting a video of it, but you're doing nothing to actually stop the situation.
Yes. You got your evidence. Yep. Sure. Film, then stop filming, then intervene. Or intervene, then start filming after. And say this is what happened.
Yeah, nah, for sure. So, the Iranian government paints American and Israeli flags on the ground so people can walk all over them. The Iranian people refuse to comply. This is the one time where don't comply. Definitely don't comply. Article reads, over the past few years, videos have circulated of Iranians purposefully jumping over painted American and Israeli flags on sidewalks and roadways that the government wants them to walk on as a sign of disrespect. Someone put together this great compilation. We don't need to add that part. I don't need to read that part out. Oh, shit. Yeah, look, I don't know if there's really much to say except fucking good on them. Every single one of them that's, just standing up for at least what they want.
It definitely speaks for, the society's general consciousness,
Yeah, that's it. They know that they're just being ran by dickheads. So they're just like, well, we're just gonna fucking do what we want. We still respect these motherfuckers. Doesn't matter what the fuck you say, tell us to do, or tell us how to feel, or even the way that you're trying to make us look from the outset to make it seem like more people think that way. It's like, nah, fuck yous. We're just gonna not do that. We congest the shit out of the other parts just so we don't have to fucking walk over these flags.
Walk over. It's glorious, really.
Yeah, it's just
it's a fuck you to the government.
That's it. It shows that people are still willing to, especially when pushed into the situation, are willing to just be like, fuck you, government. We're not going to comply with what you want us to do.
Then you got other countries like America and China that government is all Lord.
Yeah, man, fucking God.
Oh, and North Korea.
Just like I said fucking earlier with that guy and fucking yeah about fucking the religion being one of the last ways that they
Yeah.
can enslave people and whatnot. I'm just like, hey, government. To me,
Yo.
the government basically enslaves people a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot. Every day.
But nonetheless,
At least I
fucking yeah, like I said, not really a hell of a lot to talk about on this. It's just more a fucking absolutely glorious video just to
Yeah.
watch.
I mean, Israel.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I don't really want to get too much into the whole
Yeah.
fucking Israeli fucking
We'll just say
shit. Hashtag stop slaughtering Christians just because they're Christians.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, like,
Hashtag stop slaughtering attacking American soldiers just because they're there trying to protect people.
yeah.
But
All
Train.
peacekeeping soldiers.
yeah,
Let's just not do that.
and hashtag the Iron Curtain is Mad Dog, even if it isn't 100% of the time. It's still fucking mad
The Iron
technology.
Curtain is like LeBron James. It's not always 100%, but yeah. Occasionally.
Not so iron.
And with that, we'll close out the episode. I hope you enjoyed this one, and wonder whether you have similar thoughts about the principle, and hopefully you also think the Iranian government's a bit stupid. But with that, we'll end it out. I'll catch you on the flip side.